Here's how I would invest my first $1,000 all over again. And just a disclaimer, I'm not a financial advisor. This is all just based on my own personal preference. And I also have a long investing timeline. I'm planning to stay invested for 5 years or more. So I have two options here, one for someone who wants more control in their portfolio, and option two is going to be much simpler. And by the way, most of these are going to be ETFs. ETFs contain a basket of stocks so that you don't have to go out and figure out what individual stocks to buy. So I'd put $400 into an ETF tracking the S&P 500 index. And this index just represents the top 500 companies in the US. Think of it as the gold standard when it comes to investing. Then I'd put $300 into an ETF tracking the NASDAQ 100 index. This is heavy in US tech and growth companies. Then I'd put $100 into an ETF tracking high dividend paying Canadian companies. And dividends are just what a company pays you for buying and holding their stock. They're actually separate from any gains you would make if you sold your investment at a higher price than you bought it. Then I'd put $100 into an ETF tracking developed countries outside of North America. Then $50 into an ETF tracking emerging markets like India, Brazil, China, etc. And then I'd reserve $50 for fund money where I could do whatever I wanted, invest in individual stocks, crypto, or even more of these ETFs if I wanted. Now, option two, if I wanted to keep things extremely simple, I'd put half my money into a globally diversified ETF. What this means is that the ETF would contain thousands of stocks from all over the world. And then I'd put the remaining half of the money into an ETF tracking the S&P 500 index.